Gotta show him I can still rap though.
Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the bag like here I go again. Outside says chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions. I'm talking Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy Amazon. I been winning, I'm like, why me? I heard these labels wanna buy me. I don't need you, boo, I style me. I roll G's and they grind me. Now I'm on my game, nothing is the same. Who am I to blame? Money made me change. Cardi in my ring when I'm switching lanes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Money in the carry on them Boeing planes. Now I got a buck for all those rainy days. Ain't have a day off in like 80 days. I got hustles in like 80 ways. Kids if he won't take a lazy day. Wifey on me told me take a break. I keep going to the paper street. Then it's trips out to Montego Bay. If I take the job, bet I get it done. I said it before, I'm a one-on-one. I just caught some ones, only wearing ones. Fornicate the funds, money made me calm. Diamonds on your neck, bet they on your neck. You want that watch, you better rock a tech. You want that chain, you better cop a vest. You want the check, but can you make it stretch? Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck, country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm backed up. Keep it real, I do this once a month, I don't rap much. I just take the money and go stack up. Only buying car to get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault. I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up. Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me? It's not adding up.
Gotta show him I can still rap though.
Now I'm in the game, I was on the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. In the air, pure gasoline. I see the news, see what you read. Change gotta come, put that on me and watch me educate. Yeah, we been, could've started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids, yeah, let's set it straight. Do it for your kids, gotta set it straight. It's time to regulate. We need change now. We need solar, we need EV in the game now. Make it changes so the earth we know can stay around. Make it changes cause we had no time for playing around. Let's quit the playing around. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, work as a team. First rule to me, let's keep it clean. Watch how we build, clean air we need. Start from the flow, sweep up the scene. We going green, we going green.
Yeah, I had no idea. You don't want to. No.
Did you get a chub?
Don't repeat that.
Did you get a chub?
Yeah, a little bit. And
Did you get a little smidgen?
I got that less than 2%, chub going on, man. It's the one where, dude. The funny thing is, I've watched people on YouTube that have pulled.
So it did a wiggle.
Spent like $50 for 20-pack boxes and just kept running them, and they never got a dark matter in that whole thing, and it's insane. Less than 2%. But what is going on, chat? What is up? It is good to see everybody. We are live, and I know, we sound very happy, but it should be a very sad time. According to the gaming community out there on social media and Twitter, it seems that, Xbox is just done, guys. The doom and gloom is here, and it's heavy. We will get into this topic, amongst other things, man. There was a couple of things I thought about on last week's show, and we're bringing it right on over to this week's show. But, of course, we can't talk topics without going through the intros, and I am going to start with let's start with the man from the Lone Star State. This guy, he gets into gaming hardcore, man. When he likes a game, he will no life it until it is 100%, but he also gets into the business side of things as well, and it is my brother Predator. Pred, what is up, bro?
Not much, man. Dealing with this rain and rabbits in my backyard, and
at least it's not tarantulas, bro.
Cattle's being driven down fucking Plano main streets and shit.
Texas is wild, man.
It's Texas for you, man.
It's just another day in Texas, man. That's all. Nice.
We're not shooting
it's just
people.
another Tuesday.
We're just not randomly shooting people. We're just, dealing with tarantulas in our backyard and shit like that. That's what we do.
Dude, I still can't believe when you sent me that picture, man. I was like, I would never go in my backyard. But the stuff we're talking about is probably scarier than the tarantula tonight, man. And I can't wait to hear your opinions, but we got to introduce the man on the West Coast. He is your streaming extraordinaire on YouTube. You might call him the Angry Otter. I know some people out there do call him Dark Optimus. What is up, brother?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. We had a stream yesterday. We did some Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC.
Ooh, a little kissy action.
Didn't get to the kissing part.
No.
Didn't get to that part yet, but
So that's a spoiler then. Oh man,
I guess so. Yeah. I wasn't not expecting it. Anyways, I mean it's PlayStation, right? They gotta cater to everyone.
What y'all do over there?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Real man of genius.
Where are we going?
Well, it is 420, so you know how that is.
Happy holidays, Dark. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, brother.
Nice, man. Let's see. Next on the list, coming live from the 405, and believe it or not, he has been with this show from the beginning. It is my brother K Mega. What is up, bro?
The time is nay. Anyway,
Oh, dude, no, I'm sorry. It's a sad day. It's a sad day. Xbox is dying, sir. You gotta.
I understand that, but I was saying the time is nay that I won't be here on this show too much longer. Because I haven't got my $20 in nickels and dimes. So anyway, but you know what, Pred, we know that Texas is wild. You know what I'm saying? You right down the street from me, but Oklahoma is won and dominated this week. Let me explain something to you. We have racism this week, alleged murder plots. We had shootings. We had about 10 tornadoes drop last night. We had bomb threats. Man. We had an educational funding fights. We have sex scandals. We had the bombing anniversary for when McVeigh blew up shit over here. And then on top of that, somebody with all this chaos going on let their goddamn cows out in the damn interstate. So, I mean, listen.
We're watching a lot of bad news, bro.
Yesterday, so,
Hold on.
What'd you say?
It was in Oklahoma that that city council that reporter
Yes.
recorded. Oh my
Yes,
god.
that was in
Wow. Talking about I got an excavator. Like two holes are already done. Oh.
He wanted to kill the media, and then the sheriff said he would go and jump out and
Yo, that's wild. That's wild.
he would jump in for election if they could take it back to the old days like they did when they could lynch black people and shit.
That's wild. They went all out.
They went all out. So they when you got Kevin
dude.
Stent saying y'all got to go, then you know it's bad. So
Yo, you guys got the crown this week, bro. You guys got the crown this week.
And then, like I said, 10 tornadoes dropped last night. We didn't have the May 3rd, the finger of God, which was like 2 to 3 mile long tornado. But we had a quarter of a mile tornado that hit out there not too far from me. I seen the bastard when it was leaning down like a mile away from my house, and we seen it forming. But luckily, it jumped over the highway, and then I said, "Oh, that shit going up there to Stanley Draper Lake." And that bastard did, and then it started wrecking havoc, and then it broke up into other little pieces, and yeah, it was a wild night last night. Man, it was a loud night. The tornadoes was acting a fool last night, boy.
Yeah, well,
did you have to go to storm cellar or something? Like,
well, we thought about it. I got nervous. I normally don't get too nervous, but I had to put on my shoes and shit, put on the jump pad just to make sure and get the dog ready, get Big Briggs and ready to get in the spot with me, because if it came down to it. But yeah, it was.
Damn, dude.
What I saw today.
Hail.
What I saw today from that, like, meteorologists are going to be studying what happened yesterday.
Yeah,
they're going to be studying that for like years.
Left turns like they were driving, like it never.
They never saw it. They never saw
like,
anything like that before. Yeah.
Never seen a tornado. The tornado was the big one that hit that, because it started and then it went. Then people was thinking that it was going to go up to more in the rural area. That son of a bitch said nah. While it was still on the ground, it made a hard left turn and went straight up into the outer parts of the metro. It was crazy, nuts. Yeah,
no lie. It was like there was a couple storms feeding each other. They're like circling each other and just spawning tornadoes. I never seen anything like it before. It was insane. Yeah,
it's wild.
Yo, shout out to everybody out there in Oklahoma. Everybody dealing with everything that happened, because that didn't just hit all rural. Like that hit places.
No, hit part of the end of the metro. Yeah, it hit Tinker Air Force Base too. I was like, God, what? Yeah, so like I was like, all right, man. I said, and my last thing is that the one thing that tripped me out the most was that, because like I said, we're moving. We'll be out of this house on Tuesday and moving to another area. And I was like,
people.
Wouldn't it?
Gated community. He's moving on up. He's moving on up.
You damn right. It is a gated community actually. But anyway, so I got to keep
white country.
But no, I was like, what the hell is the odds that when we're getting ready to leave here, and out here in the area that I live in, like it is considered, because it was one of the worst tornadoes that hit in the area that I stay in history. And now when we're getting ready to go, that we're going to get hit with another one of these big ass tornadoes. How are you kidding me? But no, it passed us luckily. So
thank God.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Well,
it's good to have you on, man. I think I think there might be people out there that want to listen to your tears, man, in mournful sadness tonight. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say, man. But we have to get to the next introduction. Of course, this man is over here on the East Coast, which we all know is God's time, and he just does nothing but drop those truth bombs. So it is Crispy Bomb. Crispy, what is up, brother?
Shout out to K Mega for breaking down, worrying about a tornado. I mean, the most we've had here is some supercells and like a F1 tornado, which is basically like K Mega looks at us and is like, go and brush your shoulders off, motherfucker.
Yeah, he would laugh. Like, oh, you scared of that little thing? Like,
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I had one instance in my entire life where I was directly below a supercell, So a supercell is like a thunderstorm on steroids.
Yes.
And it's basically like, imagine like we get nor'easters here, that's what they call them, and like that 2 feet of snow is turned into like the energy of like one cell of just thunderstorm. And I happened to get woken up by basically my house entirely shaking and lightning going around my entire house, and my entire house shaking from the thunder.
Dude, thought he was
immediately
getting abducted
after.
by aliens.
We didn't get one. We didn't get one Mississippi that day, and I somehow the cable was still on, and my the channel at the time, I think it was channel 3 or something. They're like, we're going over this street, which happens to be my street, and there's a supercell. It's like burgundy red. That's how supercell it is, and it's literally over my house. Like, so that's the only like comparison I could have. But obviously, like all I've been known to hear, and I had a tornado go down by my work, but it was a F1. Like I said,
Yeah.
those things you do hear like it's like a railroad car coming. Like
Yeah,
that's kind of what it sounds like.
Imagine that quarter
Yeah, like a
mile,
locomotive or a
Yeah.
jet, like a jet engine. Like like the jet engine sound ones are the ones that are like pretty. That those are the more intense. Like you going F3 and higher. The locomotive sounding ones are the the smaller ones. But yeah, it's pretty. When you hear it, it trips you out. There's no question.
Yeah, and I mean, and so that's why, like, dude, like, you told that, like, dude, like, I mean, I don't know how the hell you live out there, dude. I got enough with the snow and shit,
it's
but
home, man.
what I mean, like, we had a hurricane hit, twice, and it's like, but it's not like the same, dude. Like, you guys are constantly like, it's already starting. I know this season goes for a while.
Yeah.
And
until
that's
July.
what's scary. I'm scared a
And
little
Fred
bit.
got to
like-
deal with the same thing. I mean, we're up in the plains. I mean, this is Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas. This is
Yeah.
the regional
Missouri,
thing.
like,
We
yeah,
got
dude.
hurricanes here too. Since tornado season.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay
right.
that it's okay though, because I believe both we got K Mega is moving into a gated community, and of course with Predator from his OnlyFans revenue, he's already in a gated community, and tornadoes
Yes.
do not touch gated communities. It goes by gross
It's a
income.
magical force field.
It's a gross income thing. Like tornadoes love poorer
All right,
areas.
let's get into gaming, dude.
Yeah.
Let's get into gaming.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to you, though, bro.
Yo, shout out
Oh,
to
man,
you.
appreciate
Shout out
it.
to the inventor of the Fujita scale. Yo, shout out to everybody. Yo, let's get down to business here, and let's start.
Wait. Did Dark go?
Yeah, I introduced
Yeah.
Dark.
Okay, sorry.
He's a
I
streamer
missed him.
extraordinaire, man.
He's over there.
Oh, he was
We're
first,
talking
that's
about
He's over
girls
there
kissing girls, which is
Oh,
I'm down for that.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
go.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Guys, I'll just let you know that girls kissing girls in video games is not a problem. But if microwave ovens end up kissing your satellite dish and stuff like that in video games, in
that's
Horizon,
sacrilege.
that's the issue. That's when they have crossed the line. That's all I gotta say about that. But let's get into some of this biz. Now, last week we were talking about Redfall and how at launch it's not coming out with the 60 frame per second performance mode. It's coming out with the quality mode, and the performance mode is going to be put in at a later date. Now, with all like the faux outrage from people who didn't have any interest in this game, even down to people who are Xbox people who are kind of went really crazy on frames per second or whatnot, when it's not that it's not coming down the line. But that made me think about like the marketing for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles, leading up to the launch and everything. And it, a lot of people were talking, they were right. These companies were saying 4K 60 FPS, 4K 60 FPS, even going up as high as 8K, and even saying 120 frames per second. Now, I want to ask the panel if these companies have lived up to their marketing and what they were saying about these consoles, because I feel they have absolutely pulled a fast one here when it comes to marketing. And that's kind of the definition of marketing, but like, it's really, you got to watch what they say and stuff like that. And I feel like they really like switch something out here when it comes to the gamers and stuff. But I want to ask you guys first. All right. So let me start with Crispy on this one. So Crispy, beginning of the generation, before the launch of the consoles, we heard 4K 60. I got to ask you, man, have these companies, have they lived up to what they were marketing these consoles and kind of like what they can do? I mean, not only that, you know, you had PlayStation talking about their SSD and virtually like eliminating load times, all that good stuff. Like, have these companies lived up to the kind of like promises that they have said in terms of the capabilities of these systems?
I mean, first thing people are going to be like, oh, Xbox kept saying 60 FPS. Well, that kind of pushed PlayStation to do what they've done. I mean, keep in mind that PlayStation advertised as an 8K box at one point. Did anybody remember that? Anybody remember that they said 8K?
Yeah, I remember. Isn't it on the? Wasn't it on the box? Isn't it on?
Yes,
It's on the box, right?
Yes. So, I mean, deception. That is what I look at. You know, shame on Xbox for putting it out there that, you know, hey, we can't hit 60. The problem I have is the, I mean, well, Redfall, I mean, this is like a pinnacle, and it's been delayed. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So you look at that and you say, well, why? Why, if you can't even hit 60 FPS? This is where Xbox has, you know, very much stumbled at this point. Their narrative, the way they interact with the community can be great at times, but also can kick them right in their balls. And when that happens, they don't even acknowledge it. Now, I mean, I'm on the thought process that they're being extremely quiet until end of April, you know, 26th, about there. I do think that there's a reason why they're not saying anything, because usually they do. All right, it's one of those. Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't understand necessarily where you're going with that, as opposed to like talking about if they've lived up to kind of like their marketing speak. When here's my thought on this. This is where I feel they threw a curveball, and let me know if it's accurate or not. How about that? Like, I feel. Ever since we started adopting kind of like PC type features, people have been kind of like wanting more and more. I feel like that whole want and need has stemmed from kind of like PC elitist envy, and it's kind of like grown throughout the community. But when you look at these companies saying 4K 60, they're not saying 4K or 60, which is what they're doing. If you look at the modes, you see what I'm saying? They're saying 4K 60, but what they're giving you is 4K
that's
or
where,
60.
I mean, Bob, that's where I bring up the 8K thing. Like, they've all lied to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know, we bring it up and it's stupid now because it's so old, but we believe in generations. That was a load of bull crap. Okay? Like let's be honest here. Like, I'm not saying Microsoft's some kind of angel, but they need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out quick, because if you're going to sell more consoles eventually, or on par with Sony, you need to actually think about what you're saying or what you're doing before you do it. And I feel like that's where I said, you know, the entire argument is about companies that, you know, we all give Microsoft a lot of crap for not going to these companies they purchased, whether it be one single dev or another, and actually holding them accountable at times. And like, you should have certain expectations. Like, going back to like 60 FPS should be the standard. And yet you're releasing a game that is going to need an update afterwards. And that's where I've always said, I feel like it's a Bethesda problem. You know what I'm saying? This doom and gloom that comes from it, I just, you have to give them a chance, at least. I mean, we're talking about, are they going to compete and everything else? Because they've been third place for a while now. But yet they still keep throwing those haymakers sometimes. They need to, ride the ship, be better at it, and understand that, what you did before does not like completely dictate what is happening now. And unfortunately, they keep, feeding themselves with negativity because they take missteps and they allow it to happen.
Well,
now, you think about it, they're just being forthright and saying, hey, this is what we're doing, we're sorry. And that's not the worst thing. I mean, it's kind of better than half these other companies that say 0-0 until it comes out through a, third-party site or something. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing. But, I think what their expectation was on all of these gaming consoles is not what it is now. And I think we allow them to lie to us, and it's not right for us to allow them to lie to us. And I think that's important.
Yeah, and I hear you. I definitely hear you. At the end of the day, companies, corporations, they're going to say, and they're going to pick their words carefully, with their lawyers and stuff like that to be able to push the envelope on what they can say and what they can promise. I am going to move on, but before I move on, I do want to hit up the super chat because our brother Dragonheart Yobi has hit the super chat. Thank you so much, brother, for the support, for the love. He says, hashtag peace, love, life. Love you, brother. Love you right back, man. And he's got one more. He wasn't done. He double dipped. He went in there again. He said, Bot, give K Mega his reparations. Go on strike,
man.
Damn, man. Why you gotta be reparations?
Damn.
What did I do, man?
Eight? What, are we going on 9 years now, man? What is going
But you trying to say you
on?
haven't had fun, K Mega? You trying to say you haven't had fun though?
Oh man, no.
No. He's like, no, not really, not really. Well, all right, Mega. All right. You hear what I'm asking here, and I'd like to like kind of throw in there, like with me saying what I'm saying here, it also makes the people that are saying 4K 60 or death or 4K 60 should be the standard. It does make them look a little foolish because majority of the time this generation, it's 4K or 60. Mega, do you see what I'm saying? Like, have they really been honest with their marketing of these systems and what these systems are doing?
Oh, well, first off, the content creators that keep saying that 60 frames per second is the standard, they're lying to you. They're frauding the public. If that's the case, then we wouldn't have 30 frames per second games already that's coming out in 2023. We wouldn't have the option. There wouldn't be any 30 frames at all. The standard, when you say the word standard, then that means that is the priority, that is top dog. There is nothing below that, so so they need to stop lying with that. That's just an absolute lie. I don't care who they are, what they are, PlayStation, Xbox, media, whatever. If they say the standard is 60, they're lying to you. And you're right. The PC ideology has caused this to cause a lot of people to try to be shade tree devs. And it's unfortunate because it started all the way back with DRM when they made DRM a dirty word, but yet these same people will over here praising almighty Steam, and that is a DRM factory pretty much. So it's that, and it moved on to resolution, because when I very first heard about resolution, I thought people was talking about like, at the end of the year, like, right after New Year's resolution or whatever.
Yeah,
I was
what
like,
promise
the
you
hell are they
making?
talking
How
about?
you changing your life?
Well, what are you talking about? Like, and then when I would say those
That had
things
such an
to
impact
like,
too, man. It really.
oh
really
yeah, that had a
did,
great impact. Like and so my whole point on this is that yes, I mean, but this is marketing 101 with everything. Everything is always hyped up a little bit more than what it actually is. I mean, it's hell, it's no different than you watching a Taco Bell commercial and that shit looks good. Like, man, I could get down on that. And then when you get there and go, you might have a wild hair up your ass and you really risk it all, have your bowels risk it all. Like, man, I want to get some of that Taco Bell I seen the other night. And then when you see what it actually looks like when it comes out the bag, then you know that, hey, that's, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
You get what you pay for, bro.
You get what you pay for. Now, and that's another thing. This is another point to this is that when you have all these people that are trying to come out and say, well, 60 frames per second should be the standard, and well, what are you going to give up? What are you willing to give up? Because you're not going to get 4K 60 on every game, and
especially open world games.
Yeah, well, most games you're not going to get 4K 60. I mean, it's just it's you know what I'm saying. Especially an open world game or one of these new AAA titles, it's you're going to have the option. And then so Arcane is in a position of damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because if they came out with a performance mode to have this so-called standard of having it 60 frames per second, what do you think that the other people that care about visuals, what do you think that they would say? I didn't buy a 4K television to play 1080p or 1440p. What do you think the stands is going to say? Oh, hell, y'all don't have the best visuals like PlayStation. What they're going to, it is a no-win situation on that aspect. And then when you say delay the game, then at what cost? Because that's going to hurt another game in rotation. And what you're going to do? You're going to bitch about that.
You know what's funny about that though? The main when talking about Redfall, the main mode that most people are going to play is what's coming out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
right. And listen, this is the reality. The PC enthusiast that wants to come in and try to talk about consoles as though that they care about consoles like that. Let's just be brutally honest here. Console gamers care more about visuals than they do frames. Now, I'm not saying that to everybody, but look at what games win Game of the Year. Look at what games. Look at why PlayStation is looked at the levels that they're looked at when they drop their titles. It's not because of their frames per second.
Graphics.
It's them graphics, man. Them visuals, them bangers. And let's stop acting like we haven't played games at 30 frames per second just last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why don't we stop acting like that we are trying to be like PC gamers when PC is its own entity? And when you have a lot of these people that come out and say, well, I'm going to get up and go to PC, come on over here. Come on over here. I guarantee you, yeah, the seat's real good and hot and nice. I mean, Pred, he definitely knows this. I'm in here. I've been on 3 levels of this PC gaming shit. I've been at the low end, been at the mid end, and now I'm at the high end. And it's a headache. It's great. When it runs great, that shit is absolutely butter. And it's
shout out to you for speaking the truth, though, man. Because some PC people out there, they be like, nah, it's no problem, bro, man. Like
you said, man, you get a game in there. You said, let's say, you know what I'm saying, because every PC gamer does it. You know what I'm saying? Like we go to our CD keys, we go to our G.2s, we go to other places here, other places there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's other people that like to,
go to them other places.
Like go to them other places. I ain't doing that. I went there. Somebody sent me a link to the place where they were getting their games for free and stuff, and I went there. I got bit, and my PC was fried, and so I had to change. I said I ain't never doing that shit again. Hell no, I ain't never doing it again. That was when I had the low end PC, so maybe my you know what I'm saying, whatever, right? So, but the whole thing to this, to me, is that like it's not all peaches and cream. It's it's an outlaw land. You can get the best of the best, and you can get shorted and slided in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. So it's like I said. It's It's great. It's just like, for instance, I'm over here trying to fight through Forspoken, and I do like this game, but it's kind of, it shouldn't have been open world
According to
game, in my
Chris, you
opinion.
never
Now,
said that.
anyway.
According to Chris, you never said that on the show. You never said that you were getting into Forspoken. Remember on Twitter?
Oh
You
yeah,
said-
yeah.
you
I know
said,
you said
"Nah."
that shit. Anyway, so I'm, you know, I like the game. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it should have been an open world game, right? Like, because it's kind of getting really repetitive. But when you get into the story aspect of doing stuff like that, it's fun, right? But anyway, regardless, I got a 40 series card. I got a 4080. It's equipped. It can handle it. So like the game, I'm like 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours in. And I'm over here recording gameplay so I can go ahead and start splicing it and put it on my channel. So let people see, you know, I'm playing the game. And all of a sudden, it started, you know what I'm saying? She started doing a hammer dance. Like, what the hell is going on? What? Like, she's over here doing the time. Yeah. The people in the mix. I'm like, what are you doing? And then and I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm checking to see if my shit is hot, if anything. Nope. Everything was fine on my end. It's just that the game is not optimized properly for PC. They gave a patch. It worked really good, but then I guess in just that particular area spot. So I jumped in and played another game, another big open world game, just to see if it was on my end, and it wasn't. It was the game. So okay, and then I read, and you go into Steam or whatever, and you read, and people are saying the same thing, like I'm having this problem, whatever. So you got to learn to deal with that. If there's something that you need to do, or just have to live with it, whatever. Right? PC is great, right? But consoles are great as well. But consoles is never going to catch up to PCs, because now their PCs are going to get to a level to where frames per second don't even matter to them. And another thing, console gamers was just a few years ago, just last gen, dogging the shit out of PC gamers because of the games and the graphics that those gamers love to play.
The Counter-Strike.
What are you talking about? Like Counter-Strike. Look at these weird, ugly graphic games. Now everybody wants to run the PC. Man, stop this shit. And if you want, and if you think you go to PC and you can pay $550 and get 4K 60, by all means, tell us who you have sold your soul to.
Tell us where that hookup at. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us that.
Yeah. Because
it's not happening over there. It's not happening over there. And it's also, and so you get what you pay for. If you want these consoles to do what the PC does, then what are you willing to pay? And it looks like gamers are willing to pay $550. 600 I think is the max. Once you start going over that, I think console gamers are going to be like, yeah, bruh, y'all tripping. So to me, overall, it's that yes, this is with the business overall. They'll tell you that they can do this, they can do that, they can do this. But my last point to this is that if you're gonna go out here and act like this about one game, and not think about all the other Xbox first-party games that are 4K 60, have multiplayer at 4K 60, and then you're only going to trip out about this one, and then you're going to be mad at the people who don't develop games like Phil Spencer and Matt Booty, but you're not going to be mad at Arcane and ZeniMax because they're the ones. So what? Todd Howard and them and the people that's in charge of them don't get looked at sideways.
They get no smoke. Smoke.
Yeah, they get no smoke, but then Phil does. What? Wow. When everybody asked Phil Spencer to let them cook, let the devs cook, creative freedom. You remember all that shit, bud? Yep. Like, it's so funny how so many people forget what they say, how they react, and what they do. But damn it, I'm gonna call you out on it, because you can't sit there and say, let these developers cook. Don't give them the creative freedom. Let them have the time to do this. And when Xbox give these companies the grace to say, look, get this shit fixed. We don't want this to be a burden. What's the first thing that these gamers to come out here and do? They mad. Why are you getting delayed? Like I said last time, every 8 to 10 months, there's always some kind of some so-called defection, or is there some kind of crazy shit to where the Xbox community is in flux? It is so asinine. It makes me sick to my stomach. Hey, go check it out. Within the 8 to 10 months, the last thing that was making gamers defect and be upset and say Xbox is failing and all this other bullshit was when Starfield got delayed.
I hear you, K-Meg. I think you're leaking a little bit into our the next topic. So
yeah,
like,
I'm sorry.
I got you, because you started talking about the death of Xbox, and I know that's pretty much the next topic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Okay. That's my whole point on this is that look, yes, Arcane and Redfall should be looked at. The main thing what should be looked at and people to be disappointed and disgusted about is they still charge the $70 for a game that's going to be incomplete because they told you that there's an extra mode and the damn mode is not there. So don't charge us $70 for that. That's what should be the outrage. If you're mad about the fact that they don't have the other option, that is absolutely fine. I'm with you on that. But to go as far as what people has been going to make it seem like that this is the end of Xbox or that this is that and this is this, then you're a fair weather gamer. Well, not gamer, but a fair weather fan of Xbox. You can't be saying that you're. I said this last point, but
yeah. I was gonna say you gotta keep this for the next topic, bro. Like you're gonna run out of stuff to say, man.
But Fred, you're gonna love me for this one, and so are you, Crispy. As sports fans, we're sports fans here. Bot is a sports fan too. We have seen our teams go through hell and back. Nothing more than what sports fans hate most is a fair weather sports fan. You sit there, oh, I love the Patriots. Oh, that's a nice ass Willie McGinnis jersey you got on. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, is that your favorite player? Oh, I don't really know him, but you know what I'm saying? I just saw this there. So how long you been a Patriot fan? Oh, man, I really like them.
They won their first championship.
You know what I'm saying? Because they won the championship. But then now that Tom Brady's left, now they're wearing a Tampa Bay jersey. Nobody no sports fans love no fake ass motherfucker like that. You got to be about it or not. It's not saying that you can't love other consoles and other platforms, but damn it, if you saying you ride for Xbox, then you ride for Xbox. It's okay to hold accountable because as sports fans, we hold the Rams, we hold the Cowboys, we hold the Chiefs, we hold the Giants and everybody else that we love accountable. But the fact of it is that we still ride for them. My last point. Okay.
I got you, man. I'm not
okay.
sure. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to you on the next topic, bro. I don't know. That you might have said everything, but
I might have said everything. That's fine.
You might have, man.
Excuse me if you want to.
Yo, where's our brother Dark at? Yo, Dark, man. It's been a while. You've been kind of quiet, man. What's going on here?
He's hiding under the covers.
Yeah, hiding.
Scary responses
from you freaking crazy Xbots that are out here, you know, trying.
Give him some milk.
All right, check it out, Dark. You hear what I'm saying, right? Like they were saying 4K 60. Even people now, when they're complaining about frames, they're like 4K 60. But in all actuality, majority of the time, we're not given 4K 60. We're given 4K or 60. I think it's the greatest kind of like marketing magic trick that these companies have done in recent history, man. What do you see your deal? What do you think? Is it true?
It's not necessarily like a false advertisement or anything like that. People are trying to make
they're
it
soft
seem like
words,
it is.
bro. They're soft words, man.
It's not because of the fact that they have at least one game
plastered on the box.
Hold on. It was plastered on the box, yes. The reason why it's not false advertising is because of the fact that they, you know, they have at least one game or a couple games that run at that, right?
Let that businessman swindle you. Talk that shit,
right,
Dark.
Right. Well, that's what it is. They swindle.
He's right.
That's how they do that. That's how they make their money. You know,
It's magical.
They tout one thing and then, you know, they do several other things, you know, to kind of make it seem like, oh yeah, this is what we do.
So I want to cut you off real quick.
Why, dude? Hold on. No. Yeah, you had your fucking time, and now you want to cut me off.
Let Dark go.
You had your fucking time. Let me fucking talk. Jesus. You know. The thing is that, you know, not only did PlayStation do it, Xbox did it too. I even think Nintendo at some point did it as well. it's just the nature of the business. That's how they get people to buy into their products.
Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo goes in with kind of like
They don't go
the frames
yeah.
and the graphics, but they do.
They don't.
They do
They
other
don't.
things. Their
They
marketing
do other
goes in
things.
other
They
directions.
they definitely market in other.
Yeah,
directions.
they're not the innocent little girl with the pigtails in the corner. Like, nah.
They try to sell you a cardboard VR headset.
Yes,
right? Like,
yes.
let's just
They sold people
let's just-
cardboard,
let's
man.
just- Yeah, let's just throw that out there.
And people bought it, bro.
People
People
bought it. Yeah, people bought it. And that's the thing. Like, these companies are going to continue to do that because it gets people hyped and gets people wanting to buy into the system, things like that. I think some of the the console stuff it's just the way that's the way it is. Like, I mean, what like K Mega said, like before, he said look at the game of the year contenders. For the most part, what type of games are they?
That was a good point.
What type of games are they?
They're
console games, right?
Yeah,
they're console games. You
well,
don't ever see. When do you ever see a PC game be put on Game of the Year? It's very rare, right? Like, you don't see that. PUBG.
Was that up for Game of the Year?
But that was. But what I'm saying is that it's rare, right? Like, it's rare. You don't see it very often. So, these companies do this so that they can, basically, just sell and everything. But like the game of the years that they usually win by, mostly console games. And what are they usually? They're usually graphic heavy type of games or something that innovates combat or whatever. I mean, Breath of the Wild won because of.
Well, you said graphically heavy games. Now,
not necessarily every.
Well,
game
no,
is
hold on, but hold on.
heavy,
In a graphics mode, what is the usual frames per second?
Usually in the graphics mode, yeah, it's 30 FPS.
Oh,
most people, I mean, except for the hardcore players, most people, I think, actually play in 30 FPS. Like, people like us, yes, we don't, maybe not you guys or like people like me, but people in the gaming community, yes, they tout the 60 frames, the hardcore, they tout the 60 frames and stuff, and then they're like, well, I won't touch a game that's at 30,
and definitely competitive as well. Like, that is a big
so thing. They paint themselves into a box,
right, they paint themselves into a box. But then also, if you look at most of the games that have either won Game of the Year or things like that, they've all been like, I mean, look at the games that sell the most, nowadays, like things that like for example, Tears of the Kingdom is coming out in like what, a couple weeks or like 3 weeks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That game has already sold past Breath of the Wild already.
Damn.
Already already outsold it.
That's Nintendo though.
And it's Nintendo.
They sell games to people who don't even have the console.
What is the frame rate? What is the frame rate for that game? 30 FPS.
I was gonna say 22 frames per second. 22 frames per second.
You're lucky if you're lucky, it's 1080p. That's where you're lucky.
Clearly, people don't give a shit about that stuff.
You talk about
it.
Yo, speak.
I was trying to be nice.
People don't talk shit about it. Clearly, people buy that stuff. Clearly, people are going out and buying things that don't have 60 FPS. Or, I mean, look at Gotham Knights. I mean, yes, granted, it didn't sell as well as I think a lot of people are expecting.
It's on sale right now.
Sell enough. It did sell enough to where people. There was a lot of people who actually bought it, right? So, what does that tell you? The game. People are going to gravitate towards the game that they want to play. They don't care about frames. They don't care about resolution. They don't care about, all this other stuff, all this other bull crap that people talk about on Twitter and stuff like that. People don't care about that stuff. What they care about is seeing a game, seeing it on on television or wherever, and they're like, "Holy crap, I gotta play that game," and they go out and they buy it, and they're having a great time with it. Or sometimes they're like, "Well, I didn't have a good time with it," but it doesn't. They don't say anything about the frames. They don't say anything about the resolution. They just talk about how they just either didn't like the story or they didn't like the gameplay or whatever. They don't talk about any of that stuff. People in this community, not necessarily us, but people in the Twitterverse, they talk about that kind of shit, which is dumb.
And they
It's
end
so
up on
dumb.
my fucking live feed, man. Like, why? Why?
Yeah,
do you end
they,
up there?
they always seem to target you and K Mega. It's weird, dude.
Dude, and I'm a pretty quiet person. Like, I'll say stuff that I like, but then I burn Christopher Hart on the daily. By the way, every day I catch him on one thing.
That whole Horizon thing was that was weird.
Touching Aloy in her no parts. I'm like, wow, man.
I was like,
wow.
We shouldn't endorse this
I think
guy
that
at
was
all.
caught.
Yes,
I think
he has some naughty thoughts. That's
that was caught. That was caught in 8K,
I guess
120 frames per second. That's what he got caught.
But that's
right there.
but that's what I'm saying, right? Is that the majority of people don't give a crap about this
No,
stuff.
no,
They just
unless it's
don't.
competitive. Unless it's competitive and people are
Right,
trying to
unless it's competitive.
make money. Like
Right,
that's when I can 60 frames per second or die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can
Right.
definitely see it there. But in terms of like a story
Right.
that's co-op, you know what I'm saying? Where you're getting you're getting into the story, you're trying to beat the game, go through the bosses and stuff like that. I'm like, you don't really.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal, but that I can't believe people have gone crazy over that, man.
Well, like the whole, with Redfall, being 30 frames per second. Okay, I personally, and I think a lot of people might actually agree with me. I personally don't think it'll be. It's not going to be about the 30 frames per second. The reason why I think Redfall will probably not be in the category of like top selling or something like that
Okay.
is because because Tears of the Kingdom comes out a week after, plus Jedi Survivor comes out a couple of days before that game comes out, so it's kind of getting smushed in between these two
Dead Island
juggernauts
2
type of games.
Listen, sir.
Tomorrow.
Dead
Sir?
Island 2 comes out
Sir?
this Friday, so it's just I think it's going to be. I'm not saying it's not going to be a good game. I'm not saying that at all.
I'm gonna need you to put down
I
the
just don't
DualSense.
think-
I'm gonna need you to put down the DualSense for a second because you got to remember we're talking about an Xbox first party game. So when we're talking about Xbox first party, we're talking more about active users because of Game Pass and everything. So there's really no fear of being sandwiched in between any games.
It
with what
does.
they're
It does
thinking.
because Tears of the Kingdom comes out, and that's on Nintendo. So people are going to gravitate towards that. And then, a couple of days before it is Jedi Survivor, and I think, there's a ton of Star Wars fans that are excited for that game. So
Very
I think
excited
it's
for it.
just kind of smushed in between that. I'm not saying it's not going to get a following or people are not going to play it. I just think it's not going to do the numbers that you expect or you want it to do.
I mean, I don't really
So
expect
you're
anything.
saying
The,
it's going
the
to
only
be a
thing I
failure.
expect.
No,
The
I
only-
don't think it's going to be a
Listen.
failure. I don't think it's going to do the big, like 5-10 10 million type of
You know what?
ordeal.
What we got to see is the looter aspect of this game. If the looter aspect of Redfall is addictive, it's a done deal. It's a done deal that is going to have a massive amount of people playing it.
I don't think so. I don't think so because of the fact that you got Tears of the Kingdom that comes out, and that's also kind of a looter type of game. So people are going to gravitate towards that. I think
Looter?
even more because of the fact that it's Nintendo and it's the new Zelda.
It's
I'm
more
just saying-
approachable.
I think
It is.
I just think it's a different
Yeah.
platform, so I
It's-
don't really have
It's
to.
it's.
throw
I
it in
understand
the
you
equation.
think it's a different. You're going by it's a different platform, so
Yeah.
it's probably not gonna it's not gonna. But I think it just has its one thing that I think is gonna either be its downfall or it's gonna Its only saving grace is that it's on Game Pass. That's the only saving grace that it has, is that it's on Game Pass. If that game wasn't on Game Pass though, but if that game wasn't on Game Pass and Game Pass didn't exist, that game would have failed.
Dark, I prescribe that you have to play at least 4 hours of an Xbox game this week coming, man, just to kind of balance you out a little bit, man, because you're talking about things because you're saying like the only saving grace is Game Pass when it's the only saving grace because it would have been $70 that's the
when it came
central
out.
point of what Xbox is thinking. It's not the saving grace; it's the foundation that they're working on. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's the whole reason why these games are being put up and put into.
All I'm saying is that it's not going to do the numbers that you think it's going to do. Yes, you will have your friends who will play it.
Like gonna do,
but I don't think it's going to.
I think it's going to have a bunch of again. If the looting,
I'm just saying that I think people are just going to drop it like a hat when it comes out. Like
they did Horizon, man.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a Horizon. Yeah, it'll probably be a Horizon type of.
Damn, that's blasphemy,
situation.
Sir. That's blasphemy.
Yeah.
And I allow the chat to talk smack to you for the next 3 minutes.
All right. Go ahead.
Shout out to our brother Bunty hitting up the super chat. Thank you so much for the support, brother. He says, what the question is, what are we going to play in July, a month after both these games are out, or all 3 of these games are out? Bunty, bro, I know we want to know what's coming in the future, but when we get brand new releases, dude, give it some time to sink in. Enjoy you know what I'm saying? Enjoy that. You're already looking past the games that aren't even out yet, man.
I mean, you got games in June, so there's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, like I hear you, bro, but enjoy what we get. We got games dropping, bro. We got games dropping, man. We got, like, when was the last time you saw a platform do a shadow drop besides what we saw this year with Hi-Fi Rush? Like, I don't remember the last time I've seen that. So we got this, bro. We got this. But let's see. Pred, I don't think I got to you on this one, Pred.
No.
So 4K 60. And I think in all actuality, we're getting 4K or 60. 2 modes. You can't run them together. So to me, that doesn't say 4K 60. But I gotta ask you: have these console companies lived up to their marketing for these systems?
I'm gonna go with Dark on this and say technically, yes, they have. I mean, we've actually gotten. We've gotten 4K 60 on some games, have we not? They're not getting it on every game.
Yes, we have. Yep.
We're not getting it on every game because every game is built differently. So, maybe something really more graphically intensive. They drop it down to 1440p and then 60 frames, or something like maybe 30 frames or something like that. So, like, you're gonna get one or the other, but you're not gonna get both in every single game, especially as we get further in the generation where these things become. The games get made better as you go through the generation. Like, you shouldn't get shitty games at the end of the generation that you were still getting at the very beginning of the generation, where they were like, look at example, Rise looked really good, but it was like 790p. When we got it, we should never get, but we never had that problem with any other game after that. Every game got better, right? They looked better, they ran better. I'm sorry, it's raining hard as hell over here right now. So I can't even hear myself talking. That's how loud it's raining outside right now.
Oh shit.
But those games, they got better over time. And so, I do find it funny that we only talk about games like Xbox games. We don't talk about what Jedi Fallen Order is going to run at. Have we had that discussion? It's only Redfall, right?
Yeah.
I'm right or wrong?
Yeah.
I don't even know what. The thing is, I don't even know what Jedi Fallen Order is going to run at. But yet, I don't think it's going to be 4K 60.
Yeah, it has 2 modes. It has the performance and the.
Yeah, but it's not going to run straight 4K 60.
Yeah,
it's not
I'm having a major problem.
Again,
with,
one or the other. It's
with
one or
this.
the other.
We don't have that issue with any other games except Xbox games. right? Because I don't hear anybody talking about any other publisher doing that. I don't. Maybe y'all hear it. I don't see that shit. I don't see anyone get mad about it. It ain't doom and gloom when another game from another publisher comes out less than 4K 60. I will say I do think that they should be working for that at some point in time. But like K Mega said it earlier, we got games that can't even run good on PC sometimes. So obviously there's something going on somewhere. So I agree with Dark. We do get them. We're just not getting as many as I think we probably should. What do you guys say, Crispy? Spit it out, because I hear you over there like holding.
No, hold on, real quick.
Grumbling.
Crispy, real quick. Hold on, Crispy, real quick. Let me just say, there are a couple super chats. I want to shout out to Review Scientology USA. He says, Dark, get ready. I hope you have your seatbelt on, man. He says, I agree with Dark. Redfall will fail and be dead on arrival. Now, Dark,
I didn't say
is that what
though.
you said?
I didn't say that.
That's what I was going to say. Is
I
that
didn't
what you
say
said?
that though.
Even if it fails, that's why it's going to fail.
So
I did not say that.
all your
I
fault
said
now, Dave.
all I said was that it has a problem with being smushed between Jedi Survivor and the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which are going to be absolutely huge type of games that people are going to gravitate towards. That I don't think people are going to gravitate towards Redfall. Maybe at a later date, but they won't gravitate towards it within that first week.
Yep. See, and in that comment right there, I heard fail and be dead on
Yeah.
arrival.
Yeah, see, yeah.
So,
Okay.
I will agree that's exactly what he said. And shout out to Bunty hitting up that super chat, bro. He says, I'm saying Redfall is still going to be played later. Yes, Bunty, I kind of agree with you. Again, I want to see in terms of the looting system. I think if there's an addictive looting system to this, because the atmosphere I feel already looks good, original in terms of the enemies, all that good stuff, and I feel like if the looting system is addictive, it'll have an active player base for a long time. That's what I think from what I've seen so far, man. I want to get my hands
It's
on it.
Brad's turn.
Yes, I know.
Chats.
I did super chat, bro. But actually,
he did super chat, but you're going long on it.
yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. I will do. K-Meg, I will do better. I promise.
I told Crispy-
And
I told
Pred was
Crispy
handing
to
it
say
off
what
to
he had to
Crispy.
Don't
And-
do
and-
better.
And
All
Pred,
right.
Pred was
No, I
handing,
appreciate that. I
I'm
appreciate
trying.
that because,
K-Meg, I'm trying right now. They're stopping me, man. I'm trying.
The only thing I want to say is the problem I have with Redfall, and this is the problem with the 30 FPS, is on the One X I was playing 4K 60 on Gears 5, and that's the One X, not the Series X, and I have a problem with that, and I will call it out. I don't care. It's not doom and gloom. I want them to do better. I don't really care otherwise. You can do better. You are using UE4. You could have called the coalition over, Bethesda. I'm just saying. You could have said, optimize this for us. And they would have, because they've been doing it for Epic for a while now, if everybody forgets. So they have the developers to use Unreal Engine. They just are not using them because they're treating each other separate. And that's where I go and say, how dare you, act like the Series S is better than the One X. But other than these games that we've already played, you cannot run at 60 FPS, even at 1440p at times. And at the same time, I could see 120 at 120 FPS at 1440p, and that's a marvel. Why are we so across the board? Why are we going 30 now when we're years into the cycle of consoles? It makes absolutely no sense. You need to get on the same page, and that goes for all the developers. You need to use Microsoft for what they're good at, developing software and making it better. You need to stop acting like you're separate. You are purchased by them. And I think Microsoft needs to say, hey, we're done with this. We have a standard, and we're sticking to it. And if you can't hit that standard, we're not accepting it. And that's what they have to do. Until they do that, I will always have legitimate concerns. Like, why? Why are we continuing to going down this road? Why in the Series X life cycle are we talking about frames per second and it's not 60? That's a little ridiculous. I'm sorry.
You know, I hear what you're saying. I've never been. I know K Mega can tell you. He's been on, been around me kind of like the longest. But I pretty much I've never been a frames per second guy. Like, if they're doing a game, that's really into the story, all that good stuff. Again, not competitive. Then do whatever you got to do to put the most into the game to get me immersed, and that's usually graphics, story, gameplay mechanics, all that good stuff, and frames for me is really low on that list for those types of games. So that's why with Redfall I really don't see the big deal, although some people do. But on that note, I think we got everybody on that one. We do have at least one more topic because it's a sad day, people.
Was Pred done?
Yeah, who's already passing it to Crispy, man.
Oh,
yeah, see, I was there. I was in it, man. I heard, saw every detail. I was right there. I was on point. But it's a sad day, guys. I hope people in the chat, as you're listening to this, I hope you're wearing some type of black to mourn, because since there has been this spike of PS5 sales out there, which is kind of interesting to me in and of itself. Because I don't understand where the spike came from when they're not really saying anything or nearing a release of like any first party big game. So that's interesting in and of itself. But since that, and then of course you got this whole thing with Redfall and such, people are starting to say that it's the end of Xbox again, which I think is absolutely crazy. But not unexpected, though, if you look at the timing and what's going on. I really don't think I was expecting something like this. And they're going hard this time. They're going hard this time, and they're really trying to go out there and kind of preach about the end of Xbox right before this big deal is about to land. But let's get into it. You know what? I want to start with Pred on this one. I do. I'm interested here. Pred.
Take your time. Take your time, Pred. Take your time.
Pred, get comfortable.
Really
sit back, relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sweet love to our ears.
So supposedly, because of the spike in PS5 sales, and kind of like the Redfall drama and other things, it is the end of Xbox. Like, do you think there is a huge cause for concern here? And again, I feel like this is expected. I'm looking at this as like a timing thing, and people are getting anxious because something is about to go down. But I want to hear your opinion. What do you think's going on right now, and what is up with the whole doom and gloom, sir? Is it warranted?
I don't know why people are thinking that. They're still buying in the process of purchasing a studio. And so like that right there alone lets you know people are thinking that are being fucking stupid. They're going to court, putting all this money with lawyers for this ABK deal to go through. They just bought ZeniMax. They're probably gonna buy something else by the end of the year after this shit closes. I mean, like, why are people thinking that? That's just like the dumbest thing ever. That's just like typical fanboyism of a console. They should be more concerned about PlayStation folding than they should be with Xbox folding. Because as last I remember, like, consoles don't make money. There's a break-even point somewhere. It's pretty high for them to get their money back, and a lot of them are sitting in warehouses still that no one's using. So, I don't understand
Sir, do
why
you have
people
pictures?
even like.
I need proof. Do you have pictures?
Like, is there someone posted some shit on the internet today? Yeah.
Sir X-Man posted it, and I had to look at the date because I was like,
Yeah,
what?
it was recent.
No
it was
way.
like the 13th.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
something like that. 17th.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yep, scalpers can't sell them.
all of this money that Microsoft is putting into Game Pass and getting games in the Game Pass, buying studios. I mean, like, why would you think that the company is going to fold? That just makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, they just invested all that money, but like, it's time to turn it in, bro.
Like when Luna and what was that other streaming console that came out recently?
Stadia.
Stadia. Now, those were doomed to fail. When we started talking about that shit, I told y'all, yep, I give it a year and a half. I think I said a year. And it lasted almost, right at 2?
Yeah, I think it kind of
hey,
doubled. It doubled, but they kind of like lost their first party studios within that. Like it was party rated.
So there's only room for 3. I've been saying that for years. So I mean, like, we knew that though, as everyone in this community knew that was gonna fail, just because of how it's set up. Just like with the fucking PS handheld thing we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. We already know that's gonna fail. We've all said it. Like, Microsoft is established at this point. They're buying shit. They're spending money. That's what you do when you are going to put forth some future towards a product. You're going to spend money on that product to make it better. So for people to think that they're going to fold just because PlayStation's selling fucking consoles, they were doing that all last generation too. Did Microsoft quit? Nope. They got better.
Go ahead.
So chill out with that bullshit. Like y'all just like bumping your gums about dumb shit. You to be honest with you, you really don't want Microsoft out of the fucking gaming system, out of the gaming space right now. You really don't. You don't want it to be PlayStation, Nintendo again. You don't, because PlayStation, we've seen how they act when they get in charge of shit, start running shit. They start acting goddamn fool, increasing prices on Steam shit. Now I see they're doing in certain countries now on PC games. So that's what they do when they have the lead. And they're the big boys on the block. Now they got some pushback and competition. They got to stay in line somewhere. So like, y'all need to chill with that noise, because y'all know that shit is not happening. The fact that y'all even have the nerve to, some people have the nerve to repeat that and say that isn't stupid to me. It's dumbasses.
Damn.
Go play a jazz flute or something somewhere.
Yeah. Wow. He went in. He said what he had to say, drop bombs, and just kind of said, "All right, now who's next?" So, who's gonna follow that up? Let's go with the angry otter, man. Dark Optimus, bro, bro, our resident pony, our resident hoof clicker. Dude, is Xbox dead? Cause of the sales spike, and then kind of like what's going on Redfall and just the drama. Is it done, sir?
It's been done for a long time, dude. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about, man?
I was wondering where you were gonna go, man. I had no idea.
I mean, it's been done. It's been done. No. Honestly, man,
That was great. That was great.
like Pred said, you don't want that. You do not want Microsoft bowing out of console gaming or any type of gaming at all in general. I feel the same way about Nintendo. You don't want them bowing out, and I feel the same way about PlayStation. You don't want them bowing out either. If anything was to drastically happen, I would think that PlayStation would get bowed out by somebody. Just because of the fact of them being such a well-known brand and stuff.
Apple's out there creeping right now, bro. I'm just
Apple
saying. They're out there
somebody,
creeping.
It would be somebody, right? So it's just I don't see this happening anytime soon. I don't see Xbox. I think Xbox is in a good position. I don't think Xbox has really anything to worry about. Except for I think their timing of coming out with games. I think they need a little bit work on that. But
Dark, when it comes to that, I hear you on that, and I definitely agree. I feel it's them trying to figure out the process without the crunch at the end. I think that's their big thing.
Real possibility. Yeah.
That's what I think the hitch or the hiccup in the development kind of like cycle. I think that's where it is, man.
Yeah, and that's something that they can work on, and they'll continue to work on. I mean, look at PlayStation. How long did it take them to actually finally come up with some actually good games? Right, like it took them a while. Like for a while there, all they had was God of War and Gran Turismo for a long time. And in certain aspects, yeah, you're probably still waiting in a little bit. Games like Days Gone and stuff like that that didn't do well. But just give Microsoft time, to figure it out. I mean, they're not. It's not like they're they're not brand new to it, but they're not like complete experts at it yet. Like they're still working out kinks on stuff. Just give it time, man. They'll pull it back and have I mean they have their beloved franchises like Halo and Gears and Forza and stuff like that.
Soon to be
But then
Starfield as well.
they're
Fable.
they're coming out. They're coming out with Fable and Starfield and I think
Perfect Dark.
Redfall.
Yeah.
They're gonna have Redfall soon, and then they're gonna have Perfect
Hellblade
Dark
2.
yeah, Hellblade 2. So I mean, they got things coming down the pipeline that I think will set them up pretty well. And the whole doom and gloom thing, I always hate it. I hate it on both ends. I mean, I hear it not only from the PlayStation side, I hear it from the Xbox side too, where there's Xbox fans that are saying, "Oh, PlayStation's doom and gloom. PlayStation is done. It's not. It's going to the the wayside or whatever. It's done. It's over with. You're not going to see any more PlayStation games and stuff like that."
Like
And it's
who? I don't understand who would want that. Like
exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like who would
the
actually
entire
want
time,
that?
the entire time I've been on YouTube, like I've said at points in time, like when I wasn't dealing with Sony, I said on my channel why, but I never wished for them to be out of like gaming or anything like that.
Yeah.
There's things I wanted to see change from them as a company.
Yeah, there's things that you don't like about them, of course.
Yeah.
There's things about Xbox, there's things about PlayStation, there's things about Nintendo that I don't like. There's things about PC that I'm like, well, there's a lot of things about PC that I don't like, but that's my own preference, right?
Yeah, you know, PC elitists out there.
And it's like I don't want any of those things to go away, because once one of those things goes away, it creates this like this effect of like, well what's
It's
gonna
a bottleneck.
yeah, bottleneck, yeah, exactly, bottleneck. And that's not good, for the industry in general. So I think they just have to cool it with that crap, to be honest.
Just cool it with that crap, guys. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Quote by
I mean,
Dark
I
Horse.
don't necessarily buy into it when they say those things, but it's just come on, man. Like, why does it always have to be doom and gloom? Why can't it just be like, oh yeah, this
Dude,
company's
you know what's
doing
a funny
well.
thing?
I can't wait to see what they do next, kind of thing. Why can't it just be like about that? No, it has to be about, oh well, this company's gonna die because of this, and this, because they don't have any money or whatever. It's just like, dude, what? Like, who wants that? No one wants that.
Dark
at all. Like,
you know what I think this is, Dark. You know what I really think this is. Now again, the numbers coming out, of course, this is just, it was like, oh good, like we can grab this and use this, but we're getting to the point where the Activision Blizzard deal is about to be done. You look at what's going on with the FTC and Khan and how they got called out for possibly aiding and abetting foreign companies against United States companies, stuff like that. It pretty much looks like they're like, oh, all right, like this is going to go through. So right before like Xbox is going to have with Game Pass all the Call of Duties in Game Pass that people can play, live servers, all that good stuff. Something that would be a huge thing in the gaming community. Right before possibly a generational game called Starfield comes out. People got to try to tear this all down and stuff like that. Do you see where it's? I feel like it's more the timing, because all this stuff's about to happen.
Every time. It happens every time a new game comes out or something. Like,
it gets picked to death
every time.
Like,
it was last year it was freaking Horizon Forbidden West. This year it's Redfall. Later on this year it'll probably be Starfield. Later on this year it'll probably be in June it'll probably be Final Fantasy 16, where people are like, PlayStation's doom and gloom. They're no longer gonna be making games anymore. That's what you're gonna be hearing for. It'll never stop. It'll never end, and that sucks, because I really do enjoy gaming. Sometimes I just want to just throw my phone at the fucking wall because of some of the shit that I hear on Twitter or on or even in the YouTube space with podcasts and stuff. People, there's podcasts out there that are dedicated to doom and gloom.
What?
For both sides.
What?
Yes.
What?
For both sides. For PlayStation and Xbox. So
That's insane.
yeah, and it's that's insane. Bastard.
Dude, I thought I was laying it on pretty
Dude.
thick at first, but I didn't know I had to go and really kind of drop shit in my room. But anyway, go ahead.
Doom and gloom.
Yeah, it's insane, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I see people in this chat that have done that before with PlayStation. So don't try to hide now. I know I've seen you guys do that. So
That boy on the attack right now. Ah,
Yo,
dang.
speaking of the attack, yo, Dragonheart Yobi is attacking that super chat one more time. Shout out to you, brother, man. He says, also, Game Pass can set up their future consoles to make backwards compatibility much easier, hopefully. And, yo, dude, I definitely agree with you. You know what I'm saying? The games that are in Game Pass, again, first party, never leave. So even though they come out with a new console, I can see that interlinking. No problem, man.
When what was it, Quantum Break, or I think it was Quantum Break, right? Where that was gonna leave for like something like that. It was
Yeah, when
leaving,
it was
and
first
everybody
stated.
freaked out about it, and I was just
Yeah.
like, it's not even
Dude,
that big of a deal, man. It's
so many-
probably some
so many
licensing thing or something.
So many PlayStation fans that absolutely kind of like bashed that game for resolution and stuff were just absolutely heartbroken that it was leaving Game Pass, and they were shocked, and they wanted to know why. Like they were, they're calling up their moms and their grandmas, and they really, it was heartfelt, man. It was really sad. But then it come to find out it was just licensing for music. So
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times that's what happens. What did they probably do? They probably just took that music out and put something else in.
either that or they just, kind of.
Or they just got the
they just
license
paid
for
more.
it.
They
Yeah,
just paid more.
yeah, they just paid more. Yeah.
Go ahead. But all right, so let's see. Mega, did we get to you on this yet? I don't think we did, man.
No,
think
I would rather go last because I did take my little time. So I said if you won't, so you can go ahead and go to somebody else. Go
Okay,
ahead.
who we got?
Oh, I'm just somebody else.
Who we got next
Yeah,
year? Yeah,
just-
we got.
Oh, that's who it was, Crispy. Okay, go ahead.
Has he got the circus music? Dang,
No,
man.
because I don't have my
Is he-
sound.
Is he calling you? K Mega is calling you a clown, dude. He called you a clown, man.
Oh my god.
He
Listen
called
to
me a
this.
clown because he's mad that I was right, and
Listen to the
that's it.
instigator in the middle there, Dark. Like, yo, he called you a clown, bro. You gonna take that? You gonna take that? Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm the yes man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna take
He's got to
that?
resort to name calling. I'm
Get him,
sorry.
yeah, man. Get him.
Oh my god.
Yo.
Look at this stuff here.
But Crispy, come on, dude. You're supposed to be sad right now. You're supposed to be sad. It's a mournful day because it's the end of Xbox, supposedly doom and gloom everywhere. Crispy, what are your thoughts on this, man? You heard what I said, man. I think it's funny, kind of like the timing of all this. Right before some major things are about to go down. But I really need to know what's your opinion on here, man.
I just want to say there's this new thing called mini Reese's Puffs, and they are amazing. They are so good.
Wow.
That is my 420
Wow.
head going right there.
It's so good.
No, I'm telling you, they just came out. I work at a grocery store, people. There's mini versions,
It's
and they're
like-
like little, tiny, little
Like,
pieces
they're-
of cereal,
they're so
and they are
good.
amazing.
It's so
Especially get high.
good.
The one thing I gotta say is why would Xbox be dying if they're about to make the largest purchase? Besides, I think one other thing, I don't remember what it
No,
was.
I believe this would be the biggest purchase in gaming industry, like
No,
industry.
gaming, but I'm saying in Microsoft history, I believe it. I don't believe it was the biggest.
No, they
It
bought
was
they bought a
something
lot of
else.
shit.
Or
They
was it
bought,
the AI thing, or was it?
No,
communication?
actually, that's what like have you noticed like if you do like let Elon like speak his stupidity at times because sometimes I'm like, bro,
He's wildin'.
maybe
but
maybe it was Nokia.
watched him
Maybe the
on-
biggest
on-
purchase was Nokia.
the AI thing, like it Chat GPT is supposed to be like a non-profit, and then somehow Microsoft bought into it. Nobody's like given an explanation how this happened. But like quietly, Microsoft's not making purchases that are like, hey, we're gonna buy this small studio. Like now they're making purchases that like we go, oh hey, they're doing that right in the middle of Activision Blizzard. Like why would they do that? But it's at a completely different aspect of their company. You know what I'm saying? So now we look at it, but it's like, how are you going to implement that into the Xbox at some point? You know what I mean? So they're going to do it. You know what I mean? Like they're not purchasing Activision Blizzard for this much money, and they're gonna die. I mean, what do you think's gonna happen? They're just gonna stop making consoles? No, not until they're irrelevant anymore. Once they're irrelevant, then Microsoft will say, you know what, we're done.
Dude,
And people say 10 years. I say 15 to 20 because consoles, for ease of use, for people that,
it's
are
still
in their
it's a
30s
demographic.
plus,
It's
like
a demographic.
it's just easier. It really is. Like, and I get like my son basically plays CPU all day, and he's good with it. I'm not. I don't want to deal with it. Like if I'm gonna use a computer, it's like do a resume. It's to, maybe do a podcast down the road, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, right now,
dude,
I do
a crispy run podcast. That would be.
well.
I would watch that. I would listen to that.
Well, I've had a lot of people say I should, but I can't right now. I don't. And look, like, could I do it on what I have right now? Sure, I could. But would it be to the standard I want it to be? And I think, as Xbox goes along right now, that's where I call them out about, the point in time where you do this and you put it out there and you say, we're not going to run it at this frame. And yet, we've gone through like almost 2 years of you being owners of this thing, and somehow you haven't talked enough. Somehow you delayed a game, but still couldn't get it out to what we are used to on certain games for Xbox gamers, especially being
Chris,
first
can I ask
party.
you a question? Can I ask you just one question before you finish? What if the reason why that Arcane couldn't get that out, couldn't get the 60 frames per second mode in the game, is because they dropped it to listen to the gamers that was asking them about taking turn off the always online aspect?
That would be interesting. But if you're going to be so transparent as of now, you might as well go that far.
But if they don't say anything, but I mean, okay, but there goes that damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if they do come out and say, look, and I agree they should be transparent, but if they come out and they say that, they might be feeling like they're going to get chastised on that too. Also, now you're going to blame it on the gamers instead of blaming it on your lazy work. You see what I'm saying? Like that would.
I completely get what you're saying because, if you really look at it, they are, these people are developed. Like a lot of the people that run these companies, at least on the Xbox side, have development, knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I go and say, like I've attributed it to like the way everybody's looking at Xbox right now is because Bethesda wants to be independent, and Microsoft, maybe it was Phil talking to Todd or Phil talking to Pete, and he said, "Look, we're going to let you do your thing." but there is a point in time where because you're the company that's going to get Microsoft, Xbox is going to get blamed. Okay, you have to step in. Like the absolute love that we all saw when Hi-Fi Rush was just shadow dropped. You know what I'm saying? We don't see that often. And now we're on a lull.
That was a perfect launch.
We're on this big lull, and then you have to realize like Microsoft does not want to look that great right now. And I know people are going to think I'm crazy, but they want this to pass with flying colors as best they possibly can. And until that happens, we are going to get absolute dog shit. And that's what's going to happen. And you could disagree with me, but we'll see if this does pass at the beginning of May.
Okay.
You never know what'll happen. And the one thing I'll say is that I feel like Bethesda doesn't utilize the rest of the talent that's around them within Microsoft Studios and stuff like that. I feel like they're still isolated and they need to branch out. If you're going to use an engine that another developer is technically like a master in, you know what I'm saying? You could go to Ninja Theory. You don't even have to go to the Coalition. Ninja Theory looking pretty damn good with UE5. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to necessarily, but there's a few developers you could send over there, give a different perspective, and I feel like they're not doing that. Huh. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's like they brought id in there, but id has their own software that they deal with. You bring the Coalition in. Yeah, the shooting first-person mechanics might not be the same. Well, why not bring both? You know what I'm saying? So you could bring both. They haven't chosen to do that yet, and that's where I feel like Bethesda's got to play ball as well, because I don't think anybody's going to hurt them. Like Starfield and Redfall got delayed for a reason, but I feel like it's like, okay, it's going to get delayed, and then we're going to leave you alone. And that shouldn't be always the case. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft, the doom and gloom is there because they've made some huge missteps. I also think, once we get past this whole deal, I think it's going to be a totally different thought process. And, I mean, really, like, there's not a lot of first-party games for any console, like, hitting hard, except for what Xbox has got. I mean, you got Redfall, Starfield, Forza somewhere in there. I'm hearing rumors they're going to shadow drop that. That's what I'm starting to see.
That would be nice.
Okay, so
in June after their showcase, be like, yeah, by the way,
And we're talking like they're trying to push that game to like the absolute limits of what it's capable of, but that's devs being good at the engine they do, making a similar game every time. And this is something new. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I would rather have the game play okay, have a little bit of like stuttery and stuff like that, but also, not have glitches and stuff like that, which I've heard, people say that could have been a possibility. Like, do we have glitches because like we're trying to hit this high frames, or do we do this? But, when it comes down to it, if you're not used to the, what you're developing the game on completely, if you haven't used that for years, you're going to have a problem. And that's where I go and say, like, I want them, vice versa. Like, Halo should have reached out to id. You know what I'm saying? And, like, bring those shooting mechanics, done some different things, whatever it may be. Like, at least try. And until we get there, there's going to be people that are scrutinizing, and I scrutinize them. We all do. But really, at the end of the day, I'm not sitting here acting like, they're not buying a $70 billion gaming company. Like, Xbox is going to disappear. I ain't worried about that. And that's where I agree with everybody. Like, dude, y'all got to relax, because you make no sense. Like, you're basically kicking yourself in the heels with dirt, and it's getting infected, and now you're going to become this infected human being that just spews out bullcrap all over the place. And once you do that,
that's an amazing yet horrible picture that you just painted.
You are absolutely done in my eyes, because you don't have any type of damn logic in your brain. Like, think about it. Why would Microsoft buy a $70 billion company that is completely into gaming and somehow die? You need to get your head out of your ass. You need to realize that all of the crap you say is absolutely ridiculous because it makes no sense whatsoever. And that's where I'll leave that.
Dude, not only that, but like after this deal and they roll all the services together into Game Pass, like
Ubisoft Plus, nobody's talking about it.
Well, hold on. Xbox will be like the number one game streaming service in terms of like active users and stuff like that, which that right there makes the shareholders happy because that will, involve revenue when it comes to.
Let me say this because you bring that up real quick. Think about this: you have EA, you have Ubisoft now, you have Game Pass. Basically, Xbox is becoming the Prime Video of gaming because I can purchase all of the things that I want on Prime Video. That's it. They're becoming the platform. And once they get this deal done, you're going to hear a lot more about it. You're going to hear that family plan come out. You watch. It's going to be a trickle down effect. They are sitting here. They haven't said a damn word, and they have a lot of bad news coming out lately. And usually they say something. I mean, I think we can all agree with that. Somebody says Aaron Greenberg. Somebody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has said a damn word because they know they're this close. And what's the best thing to do when you're about to be this close to passing such a huge deal? You shut the hell up, right? I mean, seriously, I would shut up. I'd be like, no, I ain't going to say that. I don't like it. I'm not going to say a word. And that's the way I look at it. And I say, Xbox, once this is done, or even if it's not done, I think it's going to be just purchases and just games coming out and just a lot of things happening very fast through this year because they need to.
We already got games coming out. I think it's all happening like perfect timing in terms of like the deal closing, games like really starting coming out this year. Look at kind of like the rumor of Hellblade 2, which it's something I know I said, at least like a month and a half ago, that I feel like that game's coming out as well this year. So you look at like Starfield, Hellblade 2, Forza Motorsport, like the games are dropping this year.
Whoa. Forza Motorsport's not coming out this year.
You shut
it's coming
the
out
fuck up, man.
2030.
I hate you. I hate you. No, let's I believe it is now K Mega's turn. He's ready to.
It is.
He's ready to go.
I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm over here setting up my doom and gloom thumbnail for tomorrow night.
Did you put the dark suit on, man? You got the tie going,
Well, no, I have like a firestorm on one end, then I have like a thunderstorm because of like a tornado, and then I have Redfall on one end with Xbox on it. Then I have Oxenfield with Netflix on the other side, and then I got a big old sign that says doom and gloom. So it's
Oxenfree, you mean?
Oxenfree, whatever the hell the game. I never played it. It's a mobile game. Anyway,
it's not, but okay.
Most of Netflix games are mobile games, though. But Mooch is out there saying that Netflix.
I do recall those people out here laughing at Netflix, and I'm like, Netflix got the bag. Now it is kind of funny though that that Microsoft and Netflix does have a partnership, but there ain't no partnership. Hey, look, there ain't no love when it's about money and trying to get to the top. So it is what it is. So okay. So yeah, what was the question? What was the topic? Was it about doom and gloom?
It's the death of Xbox, sir. Because
okay.
PS5 had a spike in sales, which let's admit that was a crazy spike. Man, that shit jumped up real quick.
Yeah. Because there wasn't no PlayStation 5s out. Yeah.
Yeah,
they became available.
Yeah.
They became available. So yeah. All right.
But I definitely agree with that. But then all of a sudden it's kind of snowballed. There hasn't been, people made a big deal about Redfall, and before that there was something else, and then you're just rolling everything together. People are now declaring the death of Xbox for what I think is no particular reason. Like, but you know, I want to hear what your thoughts, man.
I mean, it's over. Like, I mean, shit. That's why I got my PC. You know. Anyway,
You know,
so I'm the reality.
I'm gonna go get an Atari Jaguar. I'm gonna start rocking that.
The Commodore, the new Commodore is coming. I'm gonna cop that. That little thing looks cool. Anyway, I'm being serious about that too. It looks pretty dope. Listen, it's like I said earlier, like I did spill into the other topic that, you know, every 8 to 10 months we have this doom and gloom scenario. It never fails. It always happens. The unfortunate thing about this to me is that I see a lot of Quantum Break and Rise with Redfall. And what I mean by that is that this game can be really good. It has the potential to be really, really, really cool. Not be at the level of the Zeldas or the Star Wars Jedi.
But
Survivors.
Dude, id Software helped with the gunplay though. Like that to me says this might be a great game, bro.
That's okay, but this is my point though. Okay, so that's fine and well and dandy, but you have heavy hitter sequels, and then you have a sequel that has been dormant that is going to get some attraction. I think people are going to be surprised, regardless of what the meta is that I think a lot of people are going to jump on Dead Island too. And then just
I heard the game's trash though. I heard it's trash.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but I still think, you know, whatchamacallit was awful, but that game sold decent. Well, it had a great launch. Saints Row. Now the game I don't think sold that well over once people started to see that their game was just busted. I haven't beat. I tried to. I was like, man. Anyway, I got it gifted to me, and I do got to beat it because I like to tend to do that. But anyway, let me stay focused. All right. So, but anyway, the reason why I say that is because what is something that gamers ask for that we haven't got? The Xbox One games that a lot of people, you know, that played the game, enjoyed them, would like to see sequels to. But what happened? Resolution Gate harmed Quantum Break and harmed Rise. And maybe if you want to say it didn't sell as well because, you know, Xbox's horrible start on the, you know, we know the whole story behind that. But this has that potential because even if the game is good, it's going to get overshadowed by those two big juggernauts, and the 30 frames per second is still going to be there. And I hope that that's not the case. The one thing that this game has that's in its benefit that Quantum Break and Rise did not is, and you can even say that about Sunset Overdrive, that does not, is Game Pass. Game Pass can keep this game going, and if they eventually get to the 60 frames per second in a decent amount of time, and in the fact if and this is like you said, if the game is just good, it's just fun, it's entertaining to play, it will gravitate. It's just going to take a little time because people are still going to, once that game come out, the first glitch, the first issue, the first whatever, that's going to get more highlighted than the actual gameplay if the game is good. You see what I'm saying? So,
K-Mega, have you ever played a glitch-free, an absolutely glitch-free game?
It ain't going to matter, bud. That's the thing. Like that's why I'm so frustrated with some particular Xbox gamers out there, because they keep this going. They keep the narrative going to make this game to be almost hated on and despised, when it should have the opportunity. Look, it's a brand new IP. This is what everybody's been asking for Xbox to bring.
Dude, it's something fresh, man. It really is. It's not zombies. Yes, it's vampires. Yeah, you got special powers.
It is something different. It is something unique, and that to me is what's going to get overshadowed because of the 30 frames per second. Because people made that out of everything else, that a bigger deal than that. Now, to your other point, I was hearing what Crispy was saying, of course, and he's not a lie saying that Xbox has had a very bad 2 weeks. These 2 weeks has been rough. Sony's had 3 months of just bad news. Jim Ryan crying for Spoken didn't sell worth
For
a damn. They
Spankin'?
told for Spankin',
I like that name better. I like that name better.
For getting spanked.
For
You know what I'm saying? And I can say that because I
'em.
bought the game, I'm supporting it. Anyway, but no. But for Spoken, getting you know what I'm saying, not being supported, PSVR 2 not being supported. They have games at 30 frames per second. You know what I'm saying? Their leader is absolutely looking like a fool. And it seems like that now that everything that they've done, the thought that looked like that they were going to put a monkey wrench into this deal, looks like it's just not going to happen.
Oh, that's done. That's done. Like,
yeah.
And that's why everybody's moved on, and they're attacking in other ways now.
And that's the thing. But Sony stands has been out there, been throwing what they can, talking about they can't really talk bad about High Five Rush, but they can talk. Y'all ain't supporting it. Y'all ain't doing this. Y'all ain't doing that. Y'all ain't. How you gonna tell us about what we did? I seen Porter Rock say this last night, and I had to hit him back with it because he was talking about. I forget what particular game that Xbox gamers were not supporting. I think it was maybe about the Square Enix games not coming, and then that's their little narrative is that, well, the Xbox gamers don't buy the games. Bro, stay in your own backyard. You are a YouTuber for the PlayStation community, and you did not, and you failed.
Go find information about factions and let your audience know.
After the DLC is done, we're done with this game. What? Okay. Anyway, PlayStation and Dark has even Dark has said this on here, and he said this on GRG, and I'm sure he said it other places as well. Like, man, PlayStation needs to. They have had no games to really be bragging about. They talking about Final Fantasy 16 that doesn't come out until June, and they talk about Spider-Man that hasn't got a trailer yet.
Yeah, we don't know what's coming after Spider-Man, really.
No, well, you got Stellar.
Except for Wolverine.
We
have Wolverine, Soul Blade.
Wolverine in like
Yeah.
2025.
But that's the thing, we don't know when those are coming.
No, and so that's the thing to me is that, like, yeah, nobody's buying, but that's okay, right? Like, so again, to me, it's like if Sony can have 2.5 months of doom and gloom, and the first thing that they could jump on, look at them sales, oh my God, 400%, most of them is in Europe, bro, it's okay. PlayStation is always going to have more sales than Xbox when it comes to constant units sold. It's just the nature of the beast. There's more regions where PlayStation is at. It is, the box just sells like hotcakes. It is solidified just like Nintendo is. But that's still not. But Xbox is not going anywhere. Hell, Xbox is not going to get beat 4 to 5 to 1 like they did last gen. And I think that was Pred that said that shit ain't going nowhere. If Xbox didn't die last gen, they're not going anywhere now. And especially if this ABK deal, or I should say, when this ABK deal is done,
more like
it's going to be man. And they're not going to be done because now Netflix is on there. Is trying to now get into the space. And then they also showed. That Brad, what is his name? Brad Smith, I think that's his name.
He's in Japan right now.
Yeah, he's in Japan. What are you out there doing in Japan, fo? What you doing out there, fo? You know what they doing out there, man. They about to make moves. They're about to make moves in there. And also, Crispy said this. I said this in the chat as well. And Pred, he's like, money's moving. And when Pred says money is moving, something's happening. And Xbox is normally over here, get out there and start damage controlling. Look, we apologize. We're sorry. We'll try to get this work for you. We're working as hard as we can. They ain't said shit. They ain't said nothing. That is very rare. Because you know what they're probably saying? When we drop this bomb on y'all's ass, y'all gonna forget all about the 30 frames per second. Once we light heaven and earth with this chaos that we gonna bring to the gaming industry right here, nobody ain't gonna care about them 30 frames per second. So if you have this, if you're saying that one game, and then also that's another thing, like when I'm listening to Crispy, he's over here just projecting off of just this one game. Bro, if Xbox, and I posted this on Twitter last week, I believe, if Xbox, or this week, if Xbox has, they got all these games coming out from Return. What is it? Not Ruined. What is it? Damn, the indie game that's really highly acclaimed and it's not. It got delayed. Replaced. I always keep forgetting that name. Replaced. The Benedict Fox game. Forza. Starfield. You already had Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, and then potentially Stalker 2, or if this would be insane if they did drop Hellblade 2. If you know what I'm saying,
Dude,
if they drop either Hellblade 2 or Stalker 2, I think it's going to be Stalker 2. I don't think it's going to be Hellblade. I think Hellblade's going to get pushed.
I think
it's going to get. I think Hellblade's going to have its own place, next to another big game. But if you got those 8 games coming, and then 9, because then there's also Legends that just dropped, Minecraft Legends. So if you got 9 games that's dropping, plus the games that's going to be dropping on Game Pass, like the Lies of P, and you saw the gameplay of Exo Primal, and all these other games, and the games that we don't even know about yet. If you got all that, and the only problem was one game that didn't live up to expectation, being 30 frames per second, and you're still saying doom and gloom, man, go ahead. Just go pack your shit and get on out of here, bro. Like 100 said,
you ain't gaming.
Don't come back.
You ain't gaming.
You ain't gaming. Get your suitcase ready. Get you out of here. Pred will help you get your flight. We will send you over there to the PlayStation resident, Dark Optimus. He's a gentleman. Unless you I don't know. He like feet. So if you got nice toes or something, I don't know what to tell you about that.
Join parties.
You like feet are just a feet lift.
No, I absolutely think feet are disgusting, but okay.
I'm just tripping. But no, we will send you out there, first flight out there, so you can become a PlayStation fanboy or girl, or a PC fanboy or girl, or a Nintendo fanboy girl. Because I know a PK and them, they big Nintendo fans. And we and Kevin, we will let you out here first class, buddy. Because if that is your doom and gloom, as many times as we see PlayStation and Nintendo have hit and miss. My other point before before I wrap this up. How is it that Nintendo can have a game that is broken terribly, and people still bought the game sold more than God of War Ragnarok, and nobody's not tripping about it? There's people that's complaining about it, but ain't nobody saying the Pokemon game.
Oh, the Pokemon, the Scarlet and Violet,
Violet, yeah, bro.
Because those are huge games. That's why.
Bro, they are massive. They sold 21 million copies in like 2 months. Are you kidding me?
And people are like, well, kids buy those games. I'm like, no, man.
No, I saw a video.
No.
I'm over here messing with emulators.
And they're buying both of them too.
They're
not just buying one.
Yeah, they're buying both.
Pokemon been around a long time, people.
Bro,
don't
but
forget.
Check this out though. This is real shit. I'm over here getting my emulators together, and so I was watching this Nintendo guy with the old PSN. I'm not PSN. I mean NES. ROMs or whatever. And so I was watching his channel, and he went on a rant because he was mad about some shit with the Switch, but he said, man, I had to buy another Switch because I got to play my Kirby. I mean, this dude got a nose ring. Yeah. He's got a hoodie on. He's got a cap.
I love Kirby.
Bro, he's like, I got to play my Kirby.
Grown men, grown women.
A man.
Shit like that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like bro, and see, this is the biggest problem with Xbox gamers, man. Even, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to put me in that lump as well, because I am an Xbox gamer, but this is the biggest problem. I think sometimes we care more about trying to be more neutral instead of just saying, look, we goddamn fans, bro. I'm standing by Xbox. I ride or die. It's not because I don't love games from PlayStation or from Nintendo or from PC or from mobile or VR. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that Xbox gives me what I enjoy. But you don't hear that. You got to hear people well, I was speaking the truth. I just want to hold people accountable. Man, everybody else holds Xbox accountable, and as long as you hold it accountable, you don't have to beat on that dead horse like it's this 30 frames per second shit is ridiculous. So that's my whole point. If they can sit there and they
if
can
I have a
let
problem,
this-
I
put their head into
say what the
that.
problem is, but then I don't sit there and day after
Right,
day,
and
week
dwell
after
out
week,
it.
and
Yeah,
just keep
man.
drilling it. Like,
Brother.
damn, bro.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if you are an Xbox fan, right? It's okay. Hold their ass accountable. Hold them to the fire. There's a lot of great things that we've done to make Xbox become better than what they were last gen. No question. Now there was a lot of asinine things that we did at the beginning of gen that we lost a lot of cool shit that PlayStation has added. When the PlayStation fans were saying, "Oh, there's too much TV, too many features." But again, it's okay. We're human. We make mistakes, but this shit here, this has got to stop. Like if it's real, legitimately a problem, like they did when they tried to get the money from us, when they tried to slip that shit with the Xbox Live and all that other stuff. No.
Just try to slip it in there.
Yeah, they try to slip it in there. No. We're gonna get your ass for that. You was wrong for that. Or for last year, even though they did it for the right reasons to delay these games. But to not have anything else for 2022 AAA wise, you know what I'm saying? I get that. I mean,
feels like so long ago though. You know
but
that?
I know,
It
but
really
again,
does.
but we got to do better at stop trying to appease others and having other people come in. You know, even if we talk to a whole bunch of PlayStation gamers or whatever, we got to stop that. Because man, my brother Kids Movement, I could not believe that poster he posted yesterday. It was complete defeat. Y'all at PlayStation is beating our ass. What more do you want from us? What?
That's what he did?
Brother.
That's what he
posted
did?
that yesterday. Yeah, he posted that yesterday. That broke my heart. Like, really? Man, first off, stop listening to all them goddamn PlayStation dudes that's at your neck. You know what I'm saying? So
Did you
again,
take a screenshot?
Yo, Mega.
no, just type in Kids Move and go through his thing. It's right there. He ain't erased it. You know what I'm saying? It hurt my heart.
Yo,
'Cause, I mean,
Mega.
he is an Xbox dude, and I'm like, you letting these people beat you down for no
He's
reason.
an
Yes, sir.
X-Bot.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yo, Mega.
I
if
think
you
I think
can-
it's because he was
I
on
got-
Crossfire last week. That's why.
Yo, if you can,
They beat
we
him
gotta-
down. They beat him down.
Yo, K Mega, if you
Yes,
can,
sir.
we got super chat from Dragonheart Yobi. He said, "Ask K
Yeah.
Mega." So if you can see it, you want to just read that real quick, man?
Yes, sir. He says, ask K Mega about the fighting we played that was 25 frames per second. It was bad, but it was fire at the same time. But yeah, we were playing this game called Million on PC, mind you. It was called Million Arcana. It's a Square Enix game, like it's Square Enix fighter, and Square Enix makes really good fighters. So that's why when people are like, you know, like they make great fighters actually. And when you play the actual game, it plays fantastic. Play at 60 frames per second or higher or whatever. But when we were playing online, it ran down, and I had to put the thing on it to see how bad it was slugging around. It got down to like 18 frames per second, and I'm like, oh my god! But we were having so much fun playing. We played that shit at those badass frames, like 25 to 18 to it jumped to 31 or 2 times for 2 to 3 hours because we were having a blast playing the game. So if
That's
you can
crazy.
tell me that yeah, it is. That's crazy. So it's not one of these things to me like when somebody said, "Well, you got a game PC, you can play this game." I can, but I will gladly stream me playing Redfall at 30 frames per second on Xbox without no problem. And if you know what I'm saying, if the game sucks, then I'm like, okay, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Or if the game is buggy and it has issues, then I'm like, oh man, bro, I'm gonna get to this PC. But if it plays fine with just minor bugs and issues, man, I ain't tripping about it, man. I've been playing games ever since I was 3 years old. That was in 1977. I mean 1978, bro. I don't trip on this shit. Like I'm a gamer. We're not going to get away from 30 frames per second on console no time soon. So that's my point.
I hear you, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been crazy, but like again,
Yeah.
this is right before some madness, and like I can imagine. Do you guys know anywhere else that for kind of like just like a small monthly fee would have every single Call of Duty at your disposal.
No.
So it would be.
And Call of Duty on PC is extreme. On Steam is high. Is high as hell. They're all like still $60.
So Game Pass would be a hub for like I don't know, Call of Duty fans per se.
Yes.
And we all know that they are active on like, you know, past iterations of the game. People to this day, like many people will play like Call of Duties from like years ago just because that's the one they prefer. So to have that one hub, that's going to be a huge deal. I think a lot of people are kind of like looking past once this deal is done. And then like moving forward, people are going to forget about this point in time, I feel.
Right, because Xbox is going to do something to trip and do something to piss somebody else off. So I mean, it's
so they'll go on that.
Yeah.
I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yo, all in
Or
all,
PlayStation will come out with a game and it won't be as good as everybody thought it was going to be. So they'll trip out on that too.
so then we'll have somebody capping for the game still. In my Twitter feeds, his name begins. It's like RHO. He's like claiming some type of victory for Forspoken on my Twitter like feed like all the time, man. It's insane. But shout out to him for keeping my feed.
These people are crazy,
keeping
bro.
my feed entertaining though. It's like that. He couldn't say anything worse than what he just, and then you just see what he says next. Like, wow, he did. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the show for now. It has been an awesome show. We tackled the big topics tonight. Shout out to the chat. You guys have been absolutely incredible as usual. I love the thoughts, love the opinions, man. I love seeing different opinions about the topics we're talking about. But on that note, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in, and I'm gonna start with the streamer extraordinaire, Mr. Dark Optimus. Optimus, again, what game are you streaming? Is it like you going from beginning to end, or are you just doing DLC? Let people know, man, what's going on with your channel, brother.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation, the same name as always. You can check me out here on YouTube at Dark Optimus. We are playing. I say we, but I mean I am playing Horizon Forbidden West, Burning Shores, just the DLC, not the entirety of the game.
Try to get to that kissy.
Just playing that.
Kiss me and I kiss you back.
The next live stream will be on Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, everyone tune into that because it'll be a fun one.
You got to tune in for the kissy.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to see some lesbianism? Go ahead. Yeah.
Let's go. I do shit. I'm about that. I'm gonna steal this from 100. He's like, I'm a lesbian too. Lesbian.
Oh man.
Wow. On that note, yeah, you guys got to tune into his. You got to see the kissy. You got to get the first experience.
Yeah, why not?
Of the kissy will be with Dark Optimus. I mean, that's a memory right there for everybody. Yo, Predator, bro, what do you got going on, man? How do you want to say goodnight?
Let's see. I mean, I won't be here next week, just for the record. I'm going to Austin to do some partying. So that you've got your official notice now. I definitely will not be on the show next week. I'm leaving Friday morning, so.
Remind him in 5 days.
I know.
The entire city of Austin called and canceled for next week.
20% chance I show up because I got to get up like super early to drive to Austin Friday morning. So
okay, 20%.
20% chance. So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm gonna hold on to that.
I will have some Jedi Fallen Order, not Fallen Order, but some Jedi Survivor gameplay for you.
Nice.
Hopefully, I'll have some not widescreen play of it for you.
That would be good.
So,
that would definitely be good, man.
That you can actually use. Other than that, see y'all next week. Whether this tornado is about to come through here, and hopefully I have a house tomorrow morning. So.
Wait, you got a tornado warning?
Yeah, it's raining out here right now pretty hard. So.
Yeah, but do you have a tornado warning?
We don't warnings. Can't make it tell them.
What is that?
What is a fucking
What is
warning?
that?
What does the warning go off like after it already hit?
The only time when when we really pay attention is when the weatherman or woman get highly animated and says it's a killer, and they oh shit what?
It's a killer.
Quick
get on the ground.
Go watch
It's like
May 3rd weathermen. Boy, they were saying,
I like that.
When Garrett England said
man.
that shit, I said okay, it's time to go. He said it's a killer. It's a damn killer.
You see like the lip quivering or something like.
Bro, he was adamant. He said, if you're waiting in your shelter, you're dead already. What?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, we don't get warnings out here, man. The only
We
thing,
don't
like
get
if your
warnings
TV's
like that,
on,
bruh.
you might get that at station broadcast emergency. That's what you get, because you ain't gonna hear that siren.
Yes.
You ain't gonna hear that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I ain't even seen one.
Go
over
look
here,
it
so
up.
I'm
May
playing that.
3rd weathermen at Oklahoma City. May 3rd. I think it was 1999 when the finger of God dropped on our ass, boy. That F5 came, bro. Yeah, the weathermen was tripping, bro.
Wow.
Tripping.
No,
Rightfully so, though, right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Anything that's called the finger of God, you know it ain't no joke.
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
That's what
EF5.
happens at night, because you don't even know how bad the damage is. So you wake up and watch the
five.
news when the sun comes out.
No,
in the morning.
and
That's
the-
over
that's
2
the scary
miles.
thing
That's over 2 miles wide.
Yeah.
Tornado, man.
That's the scariest thing about these tornadoes that start, because normally they usually happen in the afternoon, evening time, but now these bastards are coming in at the late at night, rain wrapped. Like it's
so you
it's
can't see
ill.
it. You can't see
Yeah,
it.
so you
Yeah,
can't
you
see
know,
it.
you'll know it's happened because someone's missing a barn shed somewhere near you. But like,
You hear
know-
the owl.
you wanna know
It's
how
like,
bad it is.
that
You
storm
wake up
was
in the morning,
crazy last night.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah,
what was that?
Let's get Crispy in on the outros. Yo, Crispy, brother, what do you got going on, man?
How the frick do I follow that up?
You can't.
you can't.
You just gotta do what you gotta do, man. You just
I
gotta
mean, come on, like.
dude.
Bro, look it up. Look it up.
Say it wasn't
Look it up.
fair.
Look it
Man,
up.
it was completely random. But,
I sure the movie Twister wasn't far off from at least
No,
dude,
no,
they're
no.
making a
That's
sequel.
experience in their
They're
life.
making a sequel.
No, they're
They
making a
are,
sequel
yeah.
to it.
I can't wait
Yeah,
for
no,
the sequel.
dude, like, because I have
They filmed
heard
it in
people.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
I've heard people tell me stories like that I met, like, on vacation or something, about like, multiple tornadoes like touching down around them, and it was just like wild. Like, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that, hopefully ever. Besides the little smidgens we get. But it's at Chris Baum on Twitter, Chris Baum 20 at Xbox Live. You can find me on Retro Renegades sometimes. Primetime Gaming, Wednesday, 7 p.m. And of course, back here on the next podcast, 8 p.m. Prime time, baby. We'll see you then.
Prime time. Beautiful. And shout out to the Ruham. If I messed up your name, I do apologize. But I do believe if you're talking about Dark and the DLC, I believe Dark already beat Forbidden West. Am I right,
I
Dark?
did.
Yeah, you already beat it.
Yeah, you have to beat it in order to play the DLC.
Okay. I got
Damn.
you.
So 20%, only 20% can play the game. Not.
Oh, play that DLC.
I already beat the game, so I was already to jump into Forbidden West, Burning Shores, and I had trouble jumping into Burning Shores because I was all like, "What are the controls again?"
Oh, wow. Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, that's the problem with when they come out with DLC like years later, right?
Oh, I am so glad I bit my tongue. Yeah, but let's see. Next on the list, what we got? We got K Mega.
Yeah.
Mega,
Yeah.
dude, what's going on,
Yeah,
bro?
the last GRG in this house, and it was great memories. Been here for a decade.
So you're gonna put holes in the walls and shit like that? You're gonna go crazy, man.
Nah, I ain't doing nothing like that. It's
Go
great
rock
memories,
star.
man.
Gotta go rock star.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. You gonna sit
You
there
got a
and
glory hole in there. So.
man.
I do got that. I do. Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, come and check out the GRG podcast tomorrow night. Should be entertaining. I cannot wait to find out what these guys think because usually I get surprised. Usually dark will be dark, but but I usually get surprised because
What is
Vipers
that
just throw
supposed
that
to mean?
rat venom. Well,
I think it's a race thing, actually, Dark.
Wow.
Was that a racist comment towards mine?
Yeah, really?
Wow.
Me? No, absolutely not. I didn't say that.
Dark,
I'm
I
just
think you
saying
pulled the
dark being
race card
dark,
on you,
being
man.
a
What are you gonna do
PlayStation
about
dude.
it?
Like,
What are you gonna do?
throwing. Oh my God, stop it. Anyway, check out the GRG podcast where we love everyone.
Unbelievable.
And stop it. I definitely won't be no fight night Sunday, so I'm going to see if I'm going to have the will to do fight night after GRG tomorrow night. So because after that Saturday, I'm packing shit in and getting ready to start moving it to the other place. So yeah, check that out. I will be dropping some more Forspoken gameplay in 4K. So I hope you guys will continue to check that out. I mean, just letting you guys see what the game is played like.
Let Christopher Hart know on Twitter that K Mega is playing Forspoken.
No, the evidence is always going to be there. So it's not. So it's nothing that So if they say I don't play it and whatever, it's right there. So check that out. And yeah, appreciate you guys supporting my first sponsor. I've had some people buy some HelloFresh. You know what I'm saying? So definitely. Thank you. So, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so that's all good. Thank you for the support.
Beautiful.
Yep. The last pants off dance off in this house, man. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
We don't need those details. And on that note, guys, like I said, this is the end of the show. This is the next podcast. We are here every Thursday, 8 p.m., which of course, Crispy is
Prime time, baby. We'll see you then.
Yeah. You guys have a great night, and we will see you next week for
Later.
the next podcast. Nothing? No craziness, huh? Look at that.
No, nothing. I'm watching my gameplay.
It's not the same. It's not the same when we don't have the soundboard. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on
Smoke
getting.
in the air, pure gasoline. I see the news, see what you read. Change gotta come, put that on me and watch me educate. Yeah, we been could've started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids, yeah, let's set it straight. Do it for your kids, gotta set it straight. It's time to regulate. We need change now.